ring?
I feel like it'll be a little entertaining. I don't know how long he's gonna last him with these big shots coming at him, but hey, only time will tell. You know, I'm not here to hype that shit. Not even my business. That's somebody else fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know, I got my own fish to fry.
Terence Bud Crawford is not going to do anything to Canelo Alvarez. Terence Bud Crawford, yes, he's good. He's a 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed, but he couldn't even hurt Majimov.
It's that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills.
Jermell explains why he thinks Canelo has the edge over Terence Crawford. He says the biggest factor will be how long Crawford can handle the heavy punches coming his way. Jermell points out that Crawford is moving up in weight to fight Canelo, which makes things even harder for him. He believes the fight will largely depend on Crawford's ability to manage Canelo's power and pressure throughout the rounds. Analysts note that Crawford struggled to seriously hurt Majimov, who is far from Canelo's level. While Crawford looked strong against Errol Spence, this fight presents a completely different challenge. Canelo is a legendary fighter, younger and more active in recent years, making him a much tougher opponent.
10-0. That never got in the ring with anything like a Terence Bud Crawford. That never got in the ring with a former champion, with an elite fighter. And he couldn't hurt. He couldn't hurt Majimov. Canelo Alvarez is no Earl Spence, ladies and gentlemen. I know that some of y'all are hyped because what Terence Bud Crawford did an incredible performance and an incredible job versus Earl the True Spence that was supposed to be the big fish. Like he turned the big fish into tuna fish on your outline on your local supermarket. Canelo Alvarez is not Earl Spence, my brothers. Canelo Alvarez is not Amir Khan. Canelo Alvarez is not Kelbrook. Canelo Alvarez is not Gamboa. Canelo Alvarez is not Felix Diaz. Canelo Alvarez is not Sean Porter. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys. Canelo Alvarez is not the mean machine. Canelo Alvarez is Canelo Alvarez, regarded as one of the greats. And not just the Mexican greats. I don't like how y'all try to put it. Oh no, he's the best Mexican shit, because you don't want to say that he's one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Canelo Alvarez is one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Has carried the sport of boxing on his shoulder. And let me say it like this: leading up to the fight, Canelo Alvarez is more active than Terence Bud Crawford. Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Terence Bud Crawford. He's younger than Terence Bud Crawford. He's more active than Terence Bud Crawford. His resume is better than Terence Bud Crawford. The people that he's fought is better than Terence Bud Crawford. He's fought every damn style. He's fought the best Russians at the time with Kovalev. He fought the best Asian in Kazakhstan and Triple G.
L. Brooks shares that he favors Canelo Alvarez in a matchup with Terence Crawford. He explains that Canelo is a very different type of fighter than anyone Crawford has faced before. Brooks highlights that while Crawford's win over Errol Spence was impressive, it does not prepare him for what Canelo brings. Canelo's strength, experience, and ability to control fights at higher weight classes set him apart from Spence and others. Brooks says Crawford has never faced someone with Canelo's combination of skill, power, and ring intelligence, making this one of the toughest fights of his career.
You've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's gonna have to, move up, and I knew when I boxed Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's it's okay, but when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but, Crawford's very, very, very good.
You think Crawford's still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much got great IQ in the ring, but he's very much a good mover as well. Do you feel like he's still got the legs to be maybe out-moving Canelo if he needs to?
Well, I don't know. I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more, he kind of sets his feet. He his cue with how he approaches chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from when he boxed Mayweather.
Analysts stress that Crawford might simply be too small to seriously hurt Canelo, as he is moving up almost 3 weight classes and has limited experience at 154 pounds. They compare this situation to Floyd Mayweather, who had faced multiple elite fighters before meeting Canelo. Crawford, in contrast, has only fought Madrimov at this level. Gabe Rosado adds that when fighters move up to face opponents with real power, punches from smaller divisions do not have the same effect. This raises questions about how Crawford will handle Canelo's strength.
I think that Crawford may be too small to really impact and hurt Canelo Alvarez. He's moving up pretty much 3 weight classes, which is exactly what I said. I'm not counting 154. He had 1 fight, bro. He had 1 fight. Floyd Mayweather got more fights at 54 than Terence Crawford. Boop. Because Crawford, he fought Madrimov. Floyd fought De La Hoya, Cotto, and then he fought Canelo at 152. So you had an aging Floyd who fought more times at the higher weight class, and Bud looks to be a bigger dude than Floyd Mayweather, right? So when Floyd was 37, he moved to 52 and fought a much bigger Canelo. Crawford's 37, he fighting Madrimov with 11 fights. Not the same. It's not. I don't care what y'all talking about. The Bud Buddy's just gonna have to be mad at me because truth is truth. So that's a valid question. And again, I'll be glad when this fight's over. Put it that way. I don't care who wins. May the best man win. I hope it's a double knockout. I already told y'all. Just because I'm just over it, and I want to get back to some of the other fights. There's other fights that are interesting and they make more sense, like Brian Norman, Devin Haney. I'm interested in Yard versus Benavidez, etc. There's some fights we're hearing about, blah blah blah. So I'll be glad when this is over, to be 100% honest. There's more fights that actually fans have been requesting that matter, blah, blah, blah. But Rosado, he brought up a lot of good points. He was saying Crawford, he thinks he's too small, and he even gave his own personal experience. He said, I'm 180, 190 solid, and when I fight guys that are welterweights, even if they crack and they're known for being menacing, murderous punchers at the lower weight classes, 140, 147, them moving up, it feels like pillows when they fight me. When I get hit with their punches, it feels like pillows because I'm used to getting hit by triple. Right? He used to Triple G work. He used to Lemieux work. So to me, this is kind of common sense, but common sense ain't that common, right?
Experts continue to emphasize one key factor in the Crawford versus Canelo fight. Can Crawford take Canelo's punches? Canelo has stopped or slowed many opponents before. Some may think Canelo looks flat-footed or easy to deal with, but this is misleading. His style is methodical, relying on balance, timing, and fundamentals. By planting his feet and focusing on efficiency, every punch hits with maximum power. Crawford's defensive skills and movement may help him avoid some shots, but Canelo is patient and will eventually find openings. The real question is whether Crawford can stay composed under sustained heavy fire. Many analysts agree that the fight may be decided not by who lands more punches, but by whether Crawford's chin and body can endure Canelo's power.
Is Crawford gonna be able to take Canelo's punches? And is Canelo gonna be skilled enough to not keep on getting banged up by Crawford and his craftiness? It's the battle of two greats, you know what I mean? So I believe that Canelo, you really see him, when you see him fight, he almost got a one-way of style, and it works for him. He likes to get in there and bang you up. He likes to throw hard punches. He likes to break you down. He likes to hit you everywhere. You're gonna hit in your body, your arms, the forehead, the ear, the neck. Wherever he can land a good one, he's gonna land it. And that usually breaks him down. So with some fighters, I see is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills. He does everything almost like perfect. But yeah, he's flat-footed, but you got to realize that he also has hell of a head movement and body movement. He understands and he's perfected at rolling with the punch thing.
Crawford's performance against Errol Spence is remembered as one of the most complete in boxing history. He showcased speed, accuracy, timing, defense, and finishing ability, breaking down one of the top welterweights as if it were easy. Many believe that night cemented Crawford as one of the greatest fighters of his generation. Now, his training partners say he looks even better. His speed remains sharp, his reflexes are intact, and his conditioning is at its peak. Even though he is older, Crawford has refined his approach and sharpened his focus. Those watching his recent preparations believe he is in the best shape of his career, which could give him a crucial edge against someone as dangerous as Canelo.
Sharper than ever, more dangerous than ever, and most importantly, he looks like the greatest version of himself. Now, can we actually believe this? Can Terence Bud Crawford at nearly 39 years old, with him being inactive, with him being heavier than ever, is it possible that the man will actually look better than ever? Now, let's think about it, ladies and gentlemen. When you're talking about someone like Terence Bud Crawford or Canelo Alvarez, you're talking about the elite of the elite. And if I'm gonna be honest, Terence Bud Crawford, when he fought Errol Spence, in my opinion, in all my years of watching combat sports, I'm a MMA guy turned into boxing. But I have never, ever in my life watched an elite championship fight and had my jaw absolutely drop to the floor with the greatness that I witnessed. And that is the only way to describe what Terence Bud Crawford did versus Errol Spence. In my opinion, that was the greatest performance in our lifetime. I mean, I can't go back to the old days. I'm not a historian. But as far as I'm concerned, that was the greatest performance I have ever seen in my life. And especially to who he did it to, Errol Spence. Dangerous southpaw at the time. I believe he was pound for pound number 3. And Terence Bud Crawford absolutely annihilated him.
Former middleweight champion Kelly Pavlik shared a strategy for Crawford to beat Canelo. He focuses on the early rounds, saying Crawford cannot let Canelo control the pace. Crawford should use his footwork, combinations, and ring intelligence to make Canelo work harder than usual. Pavlik's idea is simple. If Crawford can force Canelo to throw more punches and move more, he can drain the champion's energy. Canelo has shown signs of slowing in later rounds during long fights, so keeping pressure early could give Crawford a chance to outpoint him or even achieve a late stoppage.
Stay in Canelo's ass a little early on, put Canelo behind, right? Even if it's 3 out of the first 4 rounds, because when Canelo has to fight, okay, when Canelo has to step it up, after 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bebo. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. You know, when Canelo could control the fight in the ring generalship, like, yeah, he could fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance-wise. So if I was Crawford, I would kind of stay in his ass a little bit on, the early rounds and make him have to play catch-up in rounds 3, 4, 5. And then by round 7, that's where, he can really step it up.
Dan Rafael made a key observation comparing both fighters' experiences. He notes that Canelo has already fought and absorbed punches from smaller opponents, moving up in weight, like Floyd Mayweather, Amir Khan, and Miguel Cotto. Canelo adapted to their speed and timing, proving he can handle punches from lighter fighters. Crawford, on the other hand, has not faced a naturally bigger opponent with Canelo's level of power. While Crawford has dominated across multiple divisions, stepping up to face a fighter comfortable at higher weights is a completely different challenge. Rafael points out that Canelo's top-level experience could give him a major advantage over Crawford, who has yet to be tested by such power and size.
Dan Rafael kind of made a great point when talking about sizes. Because he said, if you look at them two together now, they look the same size. He said, people have got the idea of the size thing wrong. It's not looking at them as a physical package. It's who has absorbed the bigger shots in the weight division. And it was good. It was a very good point. He was like, Canelo has been hit by light heavyweights and super middleweights for the best part of a decade. Basically. He's so used to taking those shots. Whereas Crawford hasn't. Crawford's been hit by 140 guys and 147 guys for the best part of a decade. Yeah. What's Crawford going to be like? So basically trying to say, Canelo could easily absorb Crawford shots. Can Crawford easily absorb Canelo's punches?
If you're taking shots from Triple G, Sergey Kovalev, and Dmitry Bivol, and you're staying on your feet, not getting hurt,
not even getting wobbled,
just literally shaking it off, you can take Terence Crawford shots.
100%.
Right. Mikey Garcia has been very direct in his prediction. He believes Canelo can seriously hurt Crawford. Garcia says Crawford is highly skilled, but his defense may not be enough to handle the raw power of Canelo's punches. He points out Canelo's body shots, explaining that hooks to the ribs and uppercuts to the midsection are devastating tools to wear down opponents. Crawford is a brilliant technician, but technical skill only goes so far against strength at a higher weight. Garcia sees this fight as extremely risky for Crawford, because if Canelo lands powerful punches, the momentum could change instantly. Many experts share this concern, believing the size and power difference may be too much for Crawford.
What happens when he takes a shot from Canelo? One of those uppercuts from Gia or those...
He could get dropped, or he feels it enough to be like, fuck this, I'm boxing, and goes on the bicycle and turns southpaw for the rest of the night. And I wouldn't blame him either. Fuck it, you're gonna go in there and collect a fucking paycheck at that point.
Right.
You're not gonna go get hurt.
Right.
What good is it to get fucking 20, 30 million if you are fucking hurt physically, end up in the hospital and hurt just physically, life-changing, you don't want that shit.
But you think Canelo could hurt him? What could be life-changing?
Sure, he's that big, fool. One punch could fucking knock him out bad enough to hurt his eye socket or, detach retina. You never fucking know.
Right.
No one wants that shit.
Crawford said if he beats him, he's in the top 3 GOATs of all time.
Oh, for sure. If Crawford beats Canelo, then for sure, give him all the fucking props in the world, bro. And he actually does have a chance. It's not like he doesn't have a chance. Don't be too surprised if he fucking pulls it off in the decision.
Antonio takes a more positive view, focusing on Crawford's mental preparation. He explains that Crawford visualizes his fights long before stepping in the ring. This helps him understand the challenges Canelo presents and mentally rehearse ways to handle them. Antonio says Crawford's strength lies in his adaptability and intelligence. He has built his career around adjusting to opponents, breaking them down, and imposing his own rhythm. In Antonio's opinion, this fight will depend more on skill than weight class. If Crawford executes his plan effectively, his versatility and boxing IQ could help him counter Canelo's physical advantages.
Terence gotta be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill set.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for the next one.